All right, everybody, welcome to our training. It's our bi-weekly Amazon FBA training, and this is Brian Cinnamon with the Wealth Network, and I've got my good friend David Cook on the line here. He's going to do some training for you guys. We're very excited to show you what we do and show you a little snippet on how we make money utilizing Amazon FBA. And I've been doing this for a long time, probably 5 years. I've been very successful. A lot of you guys follow me on Facebook, and David for sure. We're just really happy and excited that we get to bring some value to you guys tonight. So what I'm going to do, David's going to do some training for you. For those of you that don't know him, he's been doing Amazon FBA for 3 or 4 years now. Makes great money. He got out of the Marines recently, and he does this full time. So he makes enough money to care for his family and take care of all his bills and go on trips and vacations or whatever you want. He's got total freedom. And I've been following him for a long time. He's taught me a ton of things about Amazon as well. And I'm just super stoked to bring him on to the webinar tonight to give you guys some value. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to David. David, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, perfect, man. Take it away. Go for it.
Sweet. Sweet. All right. What do I need to do to share my screen here, Brian?
Oh, my bad. Okay, so on the panel on the right-hand side probably of your screen, you're going to see where your microphone is so you can mute yourself. And then below
Yep.
that, 2 icons below that, there's a share your screen button. Just click that and then you'll be able to share it. Oh, hang on. I got to make you a presenter. There we go. Ha,
Okay.
there.
Sweet.
Okay, cool.
All right. What's going on, guys? If anybody cannot see my screen, go ahead and it should be walmart.com. If anybody can't, go ahead and put it down in the chat so Brian can stop me. But so yeah, I'll introduce myself for those of you who don't know me or don't know me as well as I would like you to. So like Brian said, I'm 30 now. I was in the Marine Corps active duty ranks since I was 23, and about 4 or 5 years into being in the Marine Corps, I started to think about what I could do outside of the Marine Corps. And happens that I ran across Dejan Paris, who was one of my Marines, and he kind of took me under his wing and showed me what to do if I wanted to start an e-commerce business. And it was really just the right time, right place. A little bit lucky that him and I ran into each other and on Facebook, and he got me started. So I wanted to pay for my golf membership, which is about $300 a month, and not have to pull it out of my checking account for our personal account. Well, about 2 or 3 months later, I was making that $200 or $300 a month, not putting a ton of time into it. So then I was like, well, what if I really tried to scale this thing? So then months, I guess 3 through 12 of me doing this full time, which was back in 2014, I believe, 2015 was when I started. By month 12, which was December, I had equaled what I was making in the Marine Corps. So, which Marine Corps pays its officers pretty well. So I stayed in for another 2 years, paid off as much bills as I can. And then this January I got out, and now I'm doing this full time on a big different avenues where I'm making income now. But one of them that has been kind of my go-to when I don't have anywhere else to turn, when I kind of just need to get back to the basics, when I want to scale something. This is something I still do all the time, is Amazon FBA. And anybody that I do some personal coaching with clients as well. And the first thing I tell them to start with is Amazon FBA, because it's the easiest to learn, I think, and it's the best use of your time to really learn Amazon. So right at the beginning, you're going to have I know there's people on the call that are in the Wealth Network already, and there's people that aren't. I'll answer a few questions right off the bat that I know a lot of you are already thinking. If you're new to e-commerce, if this is if you're like, what is Amazon? How do you sell on Amazon? there's a few questions you're going to have. All right, where do I get the money to do this? I'm going to answer all these questions in some fashion. Where do I get the money to do this? How do I find items to sell? How do I know what will sell and if my items will sell? What if my items don't sell and they're at Amazon? And then why would I even be doing this training for free? I'm going to give away some tips and tricks tonight. And why would I do this for free? So the e-commerce world is, I'm going to spend in 30 to 60 minutes with you all tonight, depending on how many questions you guys have. I might give away 2 to 5% of everything that I know tonight, just because we only got so much time to do it. And that's why the training's free tonight. We want you guys to kind of get a taste of what e-commerce is, and we don't want you guys to have to pay to get into something that you have no idea about. So we give you a little bit of value up front. Hopefully if you want to learn more, we'll talk about that at the end of the call. But regardless, you're going to learn something tonight. So the first question I came up with is capital. One of the things that I am proud about when I talk about my business is that I started in debt. I didn't, extra money to just throw at a business, but I had an opportunity in front of me and I found a way to make it work. So a few different ways as I'm going through all this, and you're like, how would I possibly fund this? I did it with credit cards. I had a credit card that I dedicated completely to my business, and basically by the time I would buy products, and by the time that money was due on the credit card, I had made my money back. So I never have paid interest on a credit card in my 3 years of doing e-commerce. So I personally use credit cards. You guys might have extra money sitting around. You may have other ways to fund this, but regardless, don't let that be a roadblock for you as I'm going through this and you're like, no, I couldn't. No, I might show you something on a big scale, but if you have nothing, you can start on a small scale. I guarantee it. I've had team members, people that I've known in e-commerce that have started with way less than you probably have right now. The second, where do I find items? There's items all around. Your clearance sections, online here, I'm going to show you some stuff, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can find, and it's a lot of times it's the stuff that you wouldn't think would sell. And then you also what I'm gonna go into also once we find some items here is how do you know if it's gonna sell? How much am I gonna keep if this sells, and so forth. There's some numbers there that go along with this that are gonna help you out. So without further ado, website that everybody knows. This is about as easy as it gets to find Walmart.com, right? You can go to a store and buy stuff. You can go online and buy stuff. You can buy stuff online and pick it up in a store. But the first thing you always want to look at is things that are marked down, because obviously, things that are marked down, you're probably going to have your best margins most of the time, and they're going to be the easiest to find. So anytime somebody's brand new to e-commerce, I tell them to start with lost my train of thought. I tell them, okay, I want to draw something for you guys, kind of the business model that FBA is and how all this happens. Before I get into finding products, I'll open up PowerPoint and I'll see if I can draw a very rudimentary sketch of kind of what goes on in the e-commerce space, and when you're selling on Amazon with FBA, how you're doing it. So I'll put in a couple arrows. There's an arrow. There's an arrow. There's an arrow. All right. So we start with you. You buy a product. So this is the first step, right? You find a product somewhere. After some of the stuff that I talked to you about tonight, you're going to figure out how and when that item would possibly sell. So you buy a product, and then you send it to Amazon. Now, when you send it to Amazon, it could be all across the country, but it's probably going to be a warehouse that's relatively close to you. So you're going to, let's say you buy 10 widgets, and you want to sell them FBA. So you're going to take those items, you're going to send them to a warehouse in Amazon, and they're going to be at that warehouse, and they're going to be your products. They're not Amazon's products. Just because you send it to Amazon stuff, Amazon is storing it for you, but it's your product that they just want to have in their possession to know when a customer buys that it's in stock, and that they are for sure that they can send it to the customer in their 2 days that they promised the customer. So it's at that warehouse, it's waiting for it to sell. So it's sitting at the warehouse now. And then it's going to sell. Product sells. Nope, wrong box. Product sale. And we're happy because we made a sale. So the product sells. And then Amazon ships that product to its customer. Now when Amazon ships that to the customer, you have nothing to do with it. It's already sitting in the warehouse. They've made their sale. They've paid Amazon for that item, and then Amazon takes that money, uses a little bit of it to ship to the customer, and the rest of it goes back to you. So in general, if you sell an item, in general, you're going to keep between 25 to 35% of a sale, or Amazon's going to keep 25 to 35% of a sale. So you're going to keep 60 to 80%, depending on what type of item it is, how much it sells for. So once it ships, you get paid, and then you take that money and you go back and you buy more products. That's the business model. For the first 6 to 12 months of starting an e-commerce business, that's what you do. You buy the products, you send it here to Amazon. Eventually that product sells. Amazon ships it to the customer and they pay you. And then you take those, proceeds from the profit and from what you originally paid on the item. So if you pay 10 bucks and Amazon pays you 12, right? You made back your money, the 10 bucks, and then you get to keep another 2 as your profit. And then you use that $2 and put it into more products. And you keep this going and going and going until you you build your business up where you set new goals. Some of you on this call, you can start with all sorts of different ideas and goals and what you want to do. Maybe you're me and you shift your goal. You just want to pay for your golf membership, and then all of a sudden you realize this is something I want to do full time, and you really put a lot of work into it. Some people, this will always be a side hustle for them, and that's fine too. Some people want to have two full-time incomes, and that's fine too. There's all sorts of different ways you can skin this cat, but this is kind of the basic business model. So does anybody have any questions on what I just covered as far as the circle of life, so to speak?
Nothing so far.
I must have. What's that?
You must have explained it really well. I got no questions.
I guess so. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna find our products, right? So I go to Walmart.com, and I can search for all sorts of stuff here.
Hang on.
First thing that
I got a question. Sorry.
Okay.
Before we go further,
Yeah.
How does Amazon know your product is coming to them?
Amazon Amazon knows that your product is coming to them because you create a shipment inside what we call Seller Central. It's Amazon's basically website for sellers. You create a shipment, and then once you create that shipment, they are now tracking that eventually you're going to send this item. UPS or FedEx are the two main options that we use to ship. And by the way, to answer another question about, because a lot of people are thinking, well, shipping costs, how much does that eat into profits? Amazon has amazing deals on shipping to Amazon. So you can buy shipping basically for your products from your house to Amazon, and it's super cheap. We're talking like probably 50 cents to $1.50 per item at the most. On like a really heavy item will be like $1.50. And most items that you're going to find are going to be like 50 cents. So you create that shipment, and then once you send it via UPS or FedEx, Amazon knows from the tracking number that they give you when you buy that shipment, they know that, and that actually doesn't really become available for sale until it reaches their warehouse. So once it's at their warehouse, that's when it really becomes available for a customer to buy. So that should answer the question.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. That's all we got.
All right. So back here on Walmart. So I was on here, and like 5 minutes before the call, I just did a quick look. And you look on here and you figure out what are some things that I could possibly list. So I scroll down here and I go right to rollbacks and clearance, which is Walmart's idea of a sale. The rollbacks are slightly marked down stuff, and then the clearance stuff is even further, the cheapest stuff. And then another thing you're going to be looking at is things that are relatively lightweight, like this Better Homes and Gardens umbrella base. I know this is something I'm probably not going to sell on FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, because it's heavy. It's something that's heavy to ship. So I'm not going to pick that up and ship it unless there's like a super good profit margin, but we're not going to worry about that right now. But a couple of things did cross my eye, a couple super light things, and this one was one that I found right off the bat. So what I did was I just right-clicked on this and I opened a new tab. And I saw that this is $3 for one item. Shipping on orders over $35, this is $3. We're going to plan that we're not going to pay shipping, because if this is a good item, all you have to do is buy 12 of them for, and that'll be what, 36 bucks, and then the shipping's free. So I looked at this, and then I just took the title and went to Amazon.com. And search for this item. And all right, there we go. So I'm trying to remember how I found this all of a sudden. Here, this was it. All right, so went to Amazon.com, found the item on Amazon, and now we're going to make sure that this is the same item. So this is S1 Easy Set Pool Filter Cartridge. There's 2 cartridges they're selling. This is a twin pack, and then we'll make sure that this is the right model. 2100 WL, and that's the E. So this is actually a different model, but for the sake of teaching, assuming that this was, I could go all night trying to find items, but for the sake of teaching, say that this was the exact same model number, right? This is slightly different, so it's something to look out for as you're going through and searching for items. Although it looks the same, it is a little bit different. So, but assuming this was the exact same item, right? This is selling for $3. You know, something similar to this item is probably selling on Amazon somewhere for about this price anyway. So, assuming that this is, like I said, the same model number, it's selling for $9.46. So how would I know? Obviously, I know that there's a $6 profit there, but there's a little bit more to it. So $9.46 minus $3 is obviously like $6. But there's a cool little website called the FBA Revenue Calculator. And this is the one you want to look for. It's the Seller Central that I was telling you guys about, the website that is for Amazon sellers. And it brings up this web page. And this web page right here is going to tell you all those costs that I was telling you about. That Amazon's going to charge you a little bit for shipping. They're going to take a little bit for themselves just for letting you use their website. So we take this item, go down here, and there's something called the ASIN number, which is a unique identifier to Amazon items. So this is the only item on Amazon.com with code. So we go here, we take that ASIN number, and that's how Amazon's going to identify this item. So we pull it up, and we see how much, we see it's the same item. So then we put in what we would potentially sell this for as the item price. So let's say we would sell it for $9.46, which is what it's selling for right now. The shipping to Amazon, super light item like this, like I said, between 50 cents and $1.50 is a pretty good margin. So just worst case scenario, we'll say 75 cents. And then this product costs $3. So right off the bat, right, we've got an item that is, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you sell enough of these, right, and you're only buying them for $3 in the first place, and then you sell enough of these, now nobody go out and buy this item and try to sell it, because obviously I told you it's a little bit different model number. We're using this just as an example off the bat, but we've got $1 profit here. So you know, you sell enough of these. And let's say you can sell 5 of these a day, that's $5 more than you started with. And then, you know, multiply that times 30 times a month, and now you've got $150 more right there than you had before. So the second thing, how do I know it's actually going to sell? So there's a couple things you can look at on the Amazon page to give you an idea if it's actually going to sell when you send it in. So the first thing you're going to look at, so we're on this page, and I know right off the bat that this is probably a decent product because it has a decent number of reviews. If this had 0 reviews up here, then that tells us that not many people have bought this item. But it has 30 reviews, that means at least 30 people have bought this. And let's say 1 out of 10 or 15 people leave a review, then you start to see this is sold 300 or 400 times. Maybe maybe that's 1 out of 50 people leave a review, and it sells a lot more. So that's the first indicator if you're looking at an item and figuring out if this is even going to sell at all. And then we go down here, we're close to where we grabbed that ASIN number, and there's a rank structure, and this rank structure makes it really easy to determine if something is going to sell or not. Amazon bases their rank structure. They rank all their products in their categories on starting with 1 all the way up to 5, 6, 7 million, or however many products are in a category. So basically, you want to be as close to 1 as possible. My general rule of thumb for somebody just starting out doing FBA is that you want to be under 30 or 40,000 in most can item and be pretty sure that it's going to sell. Now this one, obviously, if I say under 30,000, this one's 7,895 in patio, lawn, and garden, which is a pretty big category on Amazon. There's a few big categories on Amazon. One is patio, lawn, and garden. Another is home and kitchen. Another is sports and outdoors. And these are all categories that a brand new person can sell in. So those are the big categories. And then the rank is what you want to look for. So like I said, as close to 1 as possible. If this was the #1 product in patio, lawn, and garden, it probably sells like 300 times a day. Now this, I don't know how many times a day it sells, but like I said, this is from my experience. I know this is a very good rank for patio, lawn, and garden. So, and then the last thing the last kind of, the rank is the most important, along with the reviews, and then the third part is if the reviews are any good, right? This could have 30 reviews, but if it's 2 out of 5 stars, that means it's probably not going to be around for too long. At that rank, at that popularity, the price is probably going to eventually go low. So you want reviews, you want good reviews, and then you want a rank, under 30 or 40,000, and then obviously the closer to 1, the better. Now, another thing to look for, if you were to decide you wanted to source this item, is that buy more if the rank is super low. Like if the rank was #1 in patio, lawn, and garden, you're going to sell a lot of those. But if it's 30,000 in patio, lawn, and garden, you're still going to sell them. You're just not going to sell them as quick. So that's another kind of deterrent or consideration, on whether or not you're going to buy something. And then the fourth thing to kind of look for if this is a good product is if it's sold by Amazon or not. This one, it is not sold by Amazon. You don't see Amazon.com anywhere up here as the sold by. So it'll say here, this is where you want to pay attention. So the ones that are sold by Amazon.com will say sold by Amazon and fulfilled by Amazon. This particular one is sold by the seller Emprise. So they have bought this item somewhere, shipped it to Amazon, and it's now in an Amazon warehouse waiting for one of you guys in the audience to buy it. So it's sold by Emprise Direct, like I said, fulfilled by Amazon. So you can tell that this is a FBA order or an FBA product that they're selling. Now, if this said sold by Amazon, Amazon's a little harder to compete with than Emprise Direct. That doesn't mean you don't buy the item. It's just a consideration to know that it might sell maybe not as quick as you would like. So any questions on anything I just covered regarding rank, reviews, how quickly an item is going to sell, the profit, anything?
I got a question. So when looking at products to post, do we need to check the product sales history using past product charts before posting, such as like Keepa.com or Camel?
You certainly can. That's. I'll go to Camel right now. It's kind of a little more advanced thing, I think. But so Camel, you can create a free account, and you could take this ASIN number. Like I said, this is the identifier. This is so you know that you're getting this exact same product. And what you could do on here is, this rank structure that I was telling you about, it fluctuates depending on, from day to day. This item probably fluctuates between 5,000 and 15,000 in patio, lawn, and garden. Some quick group of sales for some reason. Maybe that's just the way the stars aligned. This is actually not usually a popular product, but it just happened to sell 4 times today. And all of a sudden the rank got pushed way up in patio, lawn, and garden. So one thing you can use this Camel that somebody in the audience obviously is tracking is to see if this is a flash in the pan type item, or if this is something that's probably going to stick around at this rank, at this price, and so forth. So what you can do is go over here, just type in this ASIN number. And it'll pull up the item that we're looking at. And what it'll show you here is a ton of really, really good data. So this says, you know, the date range here is back to, let's see, January of 2015. So this shows you this price has fluctuated between $2 and $15. Now, this kind of shows you this is kind of a cyclical product, but you kind of look here in the middle and it's selling, you know, most of the time between $6 and $9. And, you know, maybe even if you were to buy this in May and the price drops down here to, you know, you buy it here in May at $9 or expecting to sell it at $9, price drops down a little bit, eventually it's going to go back up. Everything sells on Amazon eventually. And sometimes you just have to be patient with it. But this is a great tool to kind of see at what point this item's at. Obviously, this has stayed pretty steady where it is right now. This says 520, but it's actually that's probably the lowest price. And this could be a little bit old data in here, so you kind of have to, you know, verify it. But so this will show you where the price has gone in the last few days. The second thing it'll show you is the sales rank. So we click here just on sales rank, and it'll show you what the fluctuation has been in sales rank. Now you see this has gotten steadily better over time, and this is probably, you know, we're looking back at 2015 here at the very bottom, and that's probably close to when this product maybe launched on Amazon. And then it's gotten, you know, more and more popular the longer it's been on Amazon, and now it's stayed, you know, over the last year and a half or so, it stayed really steady at a pretty low rank. So if this was something you were able to, you know, find in the store at a price that that you could sell at a profit, you could be confident that it's going to sell fairly quickly for a long time. So what else? What other questions regarding sales rank and all that stuff?
I've been answering some questions just in chat for everybody. I'll cover them real quick for anybody watching the replay. Do we need to have UPC codes to list on Amazon? The answer is no. If you're piggybacking on a listing on Amazon, there's no need for that. Are there restricted categories in which we can't sell FBA? And yes, there are. Amazon will tell you if a product you're considering is restricted. Is the fulfillment by Amazon revenue calculator for free? Yes, it is. What do you do when your product has gone out of profit by the time your product gets to Amazon FBA? I suggested that they leave the price the same. Don't go into a price battle with people. Let them sell their products out, and then the price will go right back up to where you need it to be, and then you can sell and make money. And then that is just about the end of it. David, why don't we go ahead and show them a little bit about the tools that we have inside of TWN now that you've shown the long method for finding and determining a product. Let's show them the really quick product method of finding stuff with Profit Spy. And I was just informed that we have the items for today has been updated, so let's do that.
Okay. Very easy. So, like I said, this is the kind of the way that I learned on the long way, as Brian said, is kind of searching on your own, trying to find, you know, products here and there, going out in stores and finding stuff, which is still a super viable option. There's still, you know, all sorts of stuff that you can find there. But there's a company that we all created called the Wealth Network, and basically a bunch of us got together that had kind of grew up as friends in e-commerce, basically, and business partners, and we all had our different strengths. You know, some of us were good at Amazon, some of us were good at eBay, some of us were good at, you know, SEO type stuff. But everybody had their own thing. We all brought something up new to the table here, and we created this company called the Wealth Network. And I'll show you guys kind of what we have inside and some of the tools that make what I just showed you a lot easier. So I'll go here to our e-commerce tab, and we've got eBay training. So all sorts of stuff here that I'm not going to go into tonight on eBay, but there's, if you had any interest whatsoever in eBay, we have 2 different levels of training for eBay. We've got way more in-depth training than I've gone into tonight. Sorry about that. With Amazon here, kind of the same stuff that I've been talking about, just a lot more in depth, higher profits, higher, faster selling products. And the really cool thing, which ProfitSpy is the coolest thing, and one of the biggest things that people that have gotten into the Wealth Network have really used a lot and gotten a lot of good products and profits. And I mean, this is something that even after 3 years in e-commerce, I literally get on this thing every day and usually order something just about every day. So what this does is every day, Monday through Friday, it brings us between like 15 to 25 products. I'm just going through here quick, but I'll go into a few of them that you could potentially buy somewhere on and resell. And we've got a team of assistants that goes through and basically scrapes all this stuff. Humans that actually go through this stuff from websites to see, what could sell at a profit. So I usually go through here, and everybody has their own different rules on rank. For me, I like to stick around 30, 40, 50,000, depending on the profit margin. So you can go through here, and the rank. I just kind of look through, and let's go down to something. Let's see what this is. So this thing right here, it's coming pulled from Amazon. Shut the box game, and then we've also got all this data right in front of us: how much it costs, how much it's selling for, the rank. Camel, which is a snapshot right here of what the price has done in the last few days, or the last few months. I apologize, a few years in this case. And it brings all this information right in front of you, so you can make a quick decision. You don't have to, kind of what I was doing the long way. You don't have to exactly go through all those kind of mundane steps and waste time. It's all right here in front of you. So you can just click on this title here, and it pulls up the Amazon listing. And you see here, so this is actually a really good example. So it pulls up the Amazon listing, and then we also have where you can buy it. So we'll pull that up. You can buy this at WE Games, and so you have to register or log in to see the price. So we've pulled the price here. It's $8.75, and right. So it pulls up here, and it's selling for a couple different prices. So this one, right, it's selling for $37.95 is the lowest price, and then let's see, $39.99 is the, sorry, that for some reason my computer puts the price away, but it says $39.99 if you guys can check it real quick. So it's actually selling for 40 bucks. And we have it here for $8.75 is the product cost. Have a little bit of shipping to get that to you. Maybe you have a little bit of tax, and the cost is now $9 or $10 or $11. So let's take this and just see what we would keep if we sold this on Amazon. So we'll go through and get that ASI number I told you about. Go to the revenue calculator. And the price we're going to sell it for, how much we're going to ship it to Amazon, and then the cost. So let's just round up and say the cost is $9, right? You're keeping, it's a $20 profit item right there. If you can buy it, around $9 to $10, even if you buy it for 15, right? You're basically more than doubling your money on the product. So we've got all sorts of products like this that we bring every single day, Monday through Friday, to members of the Wealth Network, and it's all sorts of good stuff. And like I said, I use this thing all the time. And the cool thing is that we have a lot of stores you wouldn't think about, right? You wouldn't think about going to the Starbucks store to buy things to sell on Amazon. But we go here and we can see what it's doing on Amazon, and then just verify, right? This is selling for $19.98. I actually just bought some stuff from the Starbucks store that I found on ProfitSpy the other day. So $19.98 it's selling for. It's probably on sale here. And this is, we can put the stuff in the profit or the revenue calculator. We're probably going to come up with like a $3, $4, $5 profit on this. You're making a 30 to 50% return. So this is the kind of tools that we have inside the Wealth Network. The ProfitSpy, we've got a Facebook group for all these questions that you guys are putting in the chat. You can put them into our private Facebook group for our members. You can get 2, 3, 4, 5 different viewpoints on a question, and everybody's got their own different way of doing stuff. So that's another benefit. So let's make sure thing in here. But this is the ProfitSpy tool, and like I said, I mean, we can go through. Yesterday we've got all these products that we're using and bringing to our members. So Brian, that's really the main stuff of what I've had. I'm happy to answer any questions, man. But that's kind of the rundown of the ProfitSpy tool. If you want to add anything, man, go ahead.
For sure. Yeah, one point I just wanted to make about ProfitSpy, we had a question in the group too, or in the chat box. All of these items change daily, and as the company grows, clearly we don't want 10,000 or 100,000 members sharing a small list of 30 items every day, because clearly those items get saturated on Amazon and then nobody's making any money. But the point of the thing here is just getting some quick profits on the run. So you can get maybe 1 or 2 of these products, buy 12 or 15 or 20 of them, and then focus on the other way of sourcing products too that David talked about earlier tonight. So this is just something to kind of speed your way into making some profits, and all the research is done for you. It's a convenient thing to have. As the company grows, we will have multiple lists, and we'll section people off. So maybe only half of the group sees one list and half the group sees another list. And as we grow and as things get bigger, we'll get this to be more robust and more product availability. It's just one of those things that we got to grow as the company grows. So it's a really great tool, though. A lot of people making money. A couple of real quick questions. For a beginner, this would be a good way to start out, correct? Absolutely. I think David would agree. Doing this, Amazon FBA for a beginner, is really simple to do, and it's the safest way to run an Amazon business, because Amazon carries all of your inventory, and you don't have to worry about that. David, I'm going to let you hit the next question. It says, so we buy this, it's shipped to our home, we post it on Amazon, and when it sells, we ship it. No.
Not quite. So you are correct in that you have it shipped to your home. Let me bring this up, this little thing I drew.
Yeah,
so
go over
that. In here somewhere, which I should have put, you ship it to your home and it arrives at your home. Then the next step is you send it to Amazon, and then it's in an Amazon warehouse, and then it's available for sale. So then once that thing sells, you get paid for it, and you use that money to buy it again. So you're not shipping any of the products. Amazon's doing all of that for you, which is why the Fulfillment by Amazon program is so good. Just because you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. You have to worry about sending it to them, and that's it. So
that's how I like to explain it to people. As soon as you drop it off at UPS, you just wipe your hands of it and you sit back and get paid. Amazon handles everything else. You don't even have to worry about it. All you're doing is sourcing the product, sending it to the warehouse, and that's it. Another question, how do you keep track of hundreds of FBA listings, buy box, price, etc.? What do you use, David?
So, I mean, I can show. I'm not sure if this is
Well,
somebody.
So basically, I guess the question is, how do you keep track? Really, you don't need to keep track. Well, I don't want to say that, but so you send in your products, right? You know what you need to sell it for to make money. So you set your price, you send the stuff to Amazon, and
Right.
you don't need to fight over the buy box or do anything crazy with your price. Or because here's what's going to happen: if you start battling with other sellers trying to lower your price and be the lowest seller, there's going to come a point where you've lowered your price so much that you're not profitable, and now you're losing money. So what I tell people, you already know.
Better to.
Yeah, you're better off just to leave it alone, and it'll sell eventually. Somebody's going to come in and undercut you, and maybe they have two things in stock. Let them sell them, and then the price goes right back to you, and you make the money, and then your profits are easily realized when that happens. A couple more questions here I'll hit real quick, David. When you have unsold inventory, do you have it returned, or do you let them dispose it for you? I'll typically return it and I'll sell it on eBay or another platform, move it on Facebook or Craigslist or do a yard sale or something. I don't like disposing of anything because then you're just losing all your money.
That's what I do too.
Yeah. Let's see. If there's 60 sellers for a listed item, then you just hang tight with your price until they sell it. Yeah, absolutely. And this goes kind of with your research too. I mean, if you pull an item from ProfitSpy and there's 100 other sellers, maybe skip that item. Unless.
Let me elaborate on something with that real quick.
Okay, yep.
So this item that we were looking at has a bunch of different sellers on it, right? This guy right now is the featured seller, what Amazon calls the buy box. As long as all these people are going to get these people that are selling Prime, you have preference buy box, which is basically if someone hits add to cart, they're buying it from this guy. Now this buy box shifts at different times of the day. This guy might have it for an hour, and then maybe the next, at 9 o'clock from 10 o'clock, this guy has it. And then since this guy's at a little higher price, maybe he has it in the middle of the night, but maybe somebody's looking at it in the middle of the night and they buy it from him. So as long as you're close to whatever the buy box is, you're gonna get in there and sell your item.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you'll get in the rotation for sure. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's about all the questions. We're just kind of repeating things now. So what I'd like to invite you guys to do, thank you so much for attending our webinar. I really appreciate it. And thanks, David, for putting out all that valuable information. That was awesome.
Yep.
What I'd like to invite you guys to do, if you were invited here tonight by somebody who wanted you to take a look at TWN and the value that we have, I'm really thankful that you guys took the time out of your busy schedules and your evenings to come learn a little bit about Amazon. You could actually go take this information that we gave you right now and go make money today without any problems. I mean, we gave you a start to finish, everything. But if you're looking to be part of a community and you're looking to get some more in-depth training on Amazon or maybe eBay dropshipping or things like that, and learn from some of the best people in the industry that have been doing this for years, we'd love to have you inside of our TWN community. So get back to the person that invited you to the webinar. Ask them how to get started, find out what the next steps are. If you have questions, shoot them messages. Don't let them sleep until they answer all your questions, and then just get involved, get started. Q4 is coming really soon. That is the big busy time for us, and that's when we make a lot of money. So for you to start now would be a really great opportunity, because then you can be prepared for when Q4 really hits towards the end of October, beginning of November. So other than that, David, do you have anything for these guys?
No, I was hoping you were going to hit on that. Yeah, I mean, Q4 is coming. November, December are the best months to be in e-commerce, and it's better to learn it, to get your feet and make your mistakes in August than it is to make your mistakes in November and December if you're just starting. You want to be kind of seasoned by the time that happens. So this is a great time to learn and get started into, like a training program like we offer. So
right, absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, thanks everybody for paying attention. We will be doing another webinar in 2 weeks, so you're welcome to attend that. Hopefully you get started with TWN before then and get your business off to a great start. And other than that, have a great weekend, great evening, and a great day tomorrow. So thank you all for attending, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.